how real are you?
As real as you need me to be.
Cue Picard walking in.
Oh, Will, I'm sorry.
The Enterprise is conducting a security survey of the Onias sector near the neutral
Nice.
zone.
Neutral zone. Hey! Is he falling around a fat guy with that?
You've gotten to your next birthday to get that right.
Some things improve with age. Maybe your trombone playing will be one of them.
Oh, Riker's birthday?
Oh!
Oh, disgusting cake.
Right. So what did you wish for, Will?
Music lessons.
I feel like that was like a improv thing.
Yeah,
like he actually broke there.
Yeah.
I apologize for interrupting your celebration, but I'm going to need an away team. Would you report to the bridge, please?
Oh. During the party.
I was thinking too, like, it sucks to be those people that have to work, can't go to the party. You know, Broccoli's on shift. Riker planned it whenever Broccoli was working.
To a cavern 2 kilometers beneath the surface.
Romulans.
It is possible.
I suppose you'll just have to go down there and find out.
This Riker.
Look at that shot. He just gets killed.
Oh god, yeah. Ooh.
That is a great shot.
You know, Commander, in Klingon culture, we fight to the death on our birthdays.
I'm getting a lot of confusing readings here.
Captain Riker, please acknowledge.
That doesn't sound good.
I can't get a solid lock on you, sir. There's too much interference.
Get the chief!
Transporter room, what's happening? Report.
I'm trying again, sir.
Data, something's got me.
Damn, still not the hook. Okay. Well, looks like they made it back.
Dr. Crusher, he's awake.
Beverly.
Will, you remember me?
Oh, shit.
What else do you remember, Captain?
Oh! Oh, shit!
Look at the uniform! Oh, look at the...
What? We got some time travel!
Oh my god.
Patrick Stewart needed a week off. He filmed that one. Just the hook.
Water, 3
Future
Celsius.
Imperfect, okay.
How do you feel?
Confused.
That's understandable, considering what's happened.
What do you think, 50 years?
Sit down, Captain.
Captain, I am Commander William T. Riker. What is going on here?
Sit, please. They barely had time to get the 3 of you out. That happened 16 years ago.
That's not possible.
With an Altarian virus, anything is possible. In fact, we've been expecting this.
What about Geordi and Worf?
That day on Onias 3, you were infected with a strain of Altarian encephalitis. It can lie dormant for many years and then suddenly become active again, as it did in your case 10 days ago.
And so it's only been 10 days he's been out.
Yeah, but it's been 16 years.
Yeah.
But he's only been out for 10 days.
You have been in a coma, delirious. Your fever finally broke this morning.
But what happened to my memory?
He believes it.
This virus causes memory loss back to the moment of the original infection. In your case, all the way back to Alpha Onias 3.
That's terrible.
This is not a dream, and you are, in fact, Captain William T. Riker, in command of the Enterprise.
The Enterprise. For how long?
16
9
years.
years.
Okay, 9 years.
What about Geordi and Worf? Were they infected too?
Thankfully, no. Geordi appears to have been immune, and the Klingons don't seem to be affected by the virus.
Based Geordi.
Don't affect me.
Computer's been slow all morning. A processing attenuator is down. Commander LaForge has been running a level 1 diagnostic on it to isolate the problem.
I actually want to know why is essentially the whole crew still here after 16 years.
Geordi.
Ah!
Oh, it's good to see you up and about again, sir.
That's good. That's good.
Your eyes, what happened to your visor?
My visor? I haven't needed a visor since I got these cloned implants, Captain.
Little touch of gray wolf. Oh god!
Jump scare. A Ferengi jump scare.
Welcome back, Captain. We were not expecting to see you on the bridge so
all
soon.
right.
You're my first officer.
Do you remember, sir?
I haven't remembered a day for the last 16 years.
Captain, Warbird uncloaking.
On screen.
What? Right into a battle?
Oh, damn it.
Shields up, red alert.
They probably made peace with them, haven't they?
The DCS is hailing us. The Admiral wishes to speak to you.
On screen.
Will.
Oh my god, dude.
Admiral Picard, Deanna.
How are you feeling?
I've been better.
It's not a Romulan ship.
Can't
We'll
even.
discuss this after we've transported over. Picard out.
Can I also just point out, she said it was 9 years he's been captain. It took bro another 7 years. Come on, bro. And Picard's not even retired. He's just over on another ship.
This is insane.
Whenever you're ready, Chief.
That's not the chief.
Chiefy's the only one that's moved on from the Enterprise.
Captain Riker.
Holy shit, dude.
To lose 16 years.
I wonder if he really grew that
It's
goatee.
almost beyond belief. You were our key spokesman in securing the alliance with the Romulans.
Wow.
Captain, Admiral, I am in no condition to negotiate with the Romulans or with anyone
No
else.
shit.
I'm convinced this is all a dream. Which would suck.
Yeah, but there's also been plenty of time travel already, so if he found a way to go back, I'd believe it.
I'm not fit to resume command.
Even though then he'd have to kill his former self, thus creating a paradox.
Let me take you to your quarters.
Good idea.
I just wonder why Picard took Troy with him.
She's like the only one he can open up to, seemingly.
Anything familiar?
No way, dude.
Hi, Dad.
Who's the mom?
I knew the Enterprise saved all the colonists, but I didn't know the exact start date of when their son went Nova.
Son, I don't know who you are.
Who are you?
I don't even know who you are.
You don't remember me, do you?
I'm sorry.
Damn.
I need to talk to your father, Jean-Luc.
I love that. I love that.
Jean-Luc Riker. Wow.
Jean-Luc. Deanna, who's his mother?
She died 2 years ago.
What was she like?
Min was beautiful.
Minuet.
She was an excellent captain's wife and a very good ship's counselor. She took over after I left.
Oh, so that's how they met.
I can't imagine you leaving the Enterprise.
Admiral Picard offered me a position at Starfleet Command. It was a tremendous opportunity.
And then as soon as she leaves, her replacement comes in and becomes Riker's wife.
That's a good point, yeah. You think he was upset because it wasn't her kid?
Oh, yeah. Horgon.
Everything's going to be fine.
I had the same exact look, just, why did you say that?
Troy tells me you met Jean-Luc. How's my namesake holding up to all this?
Seems like a good kid.
The Decius reports the ambassador is waiting to transport.
Bro.
Beam him aboard.
Oh, shit!
Credits ruined it, unfortunately.
What, Tomahawk?
Yeah.
I was going to say it's Chief O'Brien. But...
It's a Romulan.
Honored to be the first Romulan to freely walk about a Federation starship.
Oh. It is funny that the first time we see him not on the view screen, like in person, and it's, you know, this weird timeline scenario.
Your Captain Riker is the kind of negotiator even the Ferengi should avoid.
Patrick Stewart can be such a great villain. Just that look with the goatee.
Oh, yeah.
And this, I assume, is your tactical position. Impressive.
Excuse me. Admiral, Deanna, I need a moment with you.
He doesn't feel comfortable about this.
Yeah, no.
I'm sorry, Will. Your information is out of date. The strategic importance of Outpost 23 is minimal. Has been for years.
This is why he didn't want to be involved.
What is it, Doctor?
Your son has been injured. He's been taken to sickbay. You'd better come down here right away.
Of course.
What, playing with the trombone, you idiot?
He looks fine.
Oh, look, these...
Yeah, he brought that back.
Are you all right?
Oh, I'm fine.
What happened?
It's broken, but it's going to be all right in just a minute.
Then why do you need to come down there right away? Come on, Crusher.
Playing Parisi squares.
Parisi squares?
I fell off the ramp.
At your age, you could break your neck.
Actually, kids these days play a game all the time. It's only been 16 years. It's not like it's a lifetime.
How old were you when you first started playing Parisi squares?
All right, I was probably a little younger than he is.
You've lost 16 years. Jean-Luc has lost a lot more than that. First his mother.
Yeah.
And now his father.
You're just a guy now. I mean, he's still gonna see him as his father, obviously, but
You've always been there for me.
I'll have to take your word for that, because I don't remember any of it, and I want to remember.
Luckily, Dad, every single thing that happens in Enterprise has been recorded.
Yep.
I guess there's only one thing we can do. We've got to build some new memories.
And with our future technology, we've been able to supercut this 50-hour recap.
I'm really like Curtis Creek. We went there for picnics and stuff lots of times.
What was she like?
Oh, you asked for a picture. Maybe he doesn't want to know.
They didn't want to cash an
Yeah,
actress.
they didn't want to.
Display family record. Riker, William T. Limit to visual.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
He starts beating him. Oh my God!
Display family record. Riker, Mrs. William T.
Please restate request.
Damn. We'll add that in.
Display, family record, Riker, Mrs. William T.
It's her!
Wait, what?
It's her! What? Did he marry the holodeck person? He's gonna remember, dude!
Oh, that's when it starts to fall apart.
Mom was beautiful, wasn't she?
Yes.
I'm running a level 1 diagnostic.
For 30 hours, I would never take you more than 4.
Oh.
I'm experiencing subspace interference, which limits my abilities. I can't operate as quickly as...
What did you say?
I said I cannot operate. No.
It can't. What's going on?
I can explain if you would just give me a moment.
No, you can't. Don't even try.
Captain, perhaps it would be best if we discuss this.
Shut up!
Beg your pardon.
I said shut up. As in close your mouth and stop talking.
You're angry and impatient.
Deanna, back off.
That would have been a great opportunity to roast Deanna, like, oh, great job, Deanna. Okay, this is a weird shot.
As you wish, Commander Riker.
Oh, it was
The
Tomalak?
shoot is over.
It's their own holodeck. What the hell, dude?
Oh.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
How did you discover the truth?
It was the visual record of my wife. Bad move. Minuet was nothing more than a computer-generated fantasy I once experienced on another holodeck.
Crazy. Crazy callback. Wow.
There were gaps in the information we gathered from your memory.
You recreated the Enterprise. Every nuance, smell, sound.
I mean, you probably filled that in.
I didn't see any gaps. I don't buy it, Tomalak.
We're wasting time. Bring in!
Dude, is there another layer going on?
Jean-Luc.
That is not his name, of course, nor have you ever really met him. We merely used his image to augment your program.
His real name is Luke John. Convenient circumstance. Wonder how long they've had him.
You escaped?
Yes, I hid in a secret place for weeks. They caught me when I came out to find food.
We heard everything.
Ethan, no! Stop it!
There you go! Okay, that's one way to do it.
This way.
Wow, they worked together for never planning this out.
In here.
Also didn't realize Tomalak was that weak. Just knocked out by a punch. I mean, I know it's Riker, but geez.
The Vulcans kept the strength. The Romulans. They didn't get that part.
The transmitter is on a voice-activated security system only.
Do you know whose voice activates it?
Only Ambassador Tomalak.
Tomalak is a Romulan captain. The only time he was ever called ambassador was in a holodeck fantasy. How do you know about that?
You told me about him.
What?
No more fantasies. I'm not going to play anymore.
You just got incepted, bro.
It was never the Romulans, it was you all along, wasn't it?
Oh, down on the planet?
There is no question about it, sir. It is his signal.
Picard, Commander Riker, do you read me?
The real Enterprise.
This room, it's more than a holodeck, isn't it?
Much more. The neural scanners read my mind. Give me anything I want.
Wow.
You probed the Enterprise. You lured us here so you could play games with me.
My world was invaded. My mother brought me here so our enemies would never find me.
You don't have to stay here anymore. You don't have to be alone anymore.
My name is Barash.
To me, you'll always be Jean-Luc. True to transport.
And that's it.
That's it. Oh my God.
All right, so you probably know the drill, but if this happens to be your first time here, right after we watch the episode, before we talk about it at all, we tier list it. Instant reaction tier list, and then we'll do the discussion afterwards, so check that out. All right, and here's what we tier rank Future Imperfect after our first watch. 3, 2, 1. Hey! I didn't know what you were going to do.
Imagine waking up in a mysterious future.
Data, I haven't remembered a day for the last 16 years.
Where time has altered the crew's destiny.
Perhaps it would be best if we discuss this.
Shut up!
Is it a Romulan trap to sabotage the Enterprise?
Shall we end this charade?
Or an endless nightmare with no escape? Find out on Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Welcome back to another episode of We're Stupid and You're Not. I'm dumb, he's dumber, and today we're talking about Star Trek. We both gave this episode an S, and somehow we're going to be wrong about that.
Only the second time this season we've agreed on an episode. Both times it's because we've both given the episode an S. This is the second one, and just continues this season to be excellent. And another original concept, something we haven't seen a ton of in TNG, maybe a few TOS examples we could think of. Squire of Gothos comes to mind with Trelane in terms of just like illusions and it not being what it seems at the end.
Spectre of the Gun.
Spectre of the Gun being another one, yeah. Okay, I'd maybe throw in the Royale from this show.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I really loved it. I guess right off the top, what was, we both gave it an S. What was kind of the things that really stuck out to you or really put it into that echelon?
Similar to, I would guess say, Sins of the Father, or even the Royale, just like, I guess more Sins of the Father, just like watching things unfold. Something's, Riker figures it out. Oh my God, oh, it's this. And then it's not that, it's something even more. It's like, what? It's like, holy crap. And then, like, you start thinking about it, similar to some movies, like, I don't know, Fight Club and some other ones where, like, you got to watch that again to pick up on the clues. And you watch it again, you're like, oh my God. So obvious it's this kid. That was the fun part for me. Just amazingly executed, believable. Like, it wasn't like Picard going to the bar, like, like everyone was acting like it's been 16 years. Like, things are weird, like, oh, there's a Ferengi, we're meeting with the Romulans, like, oh, this is a bit off, but it's like, hey, it's been 16 years. Like, I'm thinking about life 16 years ago from now. Like, what, it's 2024 minus 20, it's 04, plus, like 2008, right?
Yeah, 2008.
Different world.
Yeah, if you had fallen asleep to a poisonous gas in 2008 and woke up today, and I'm the one waking you up right here. Alex, we have a YouTube channel.
Oh God, you have a full beard. I have a full beard. Yes.
Yeah.
That was, I guess, the odd part was his facial hair. Like, he had streaks of gray, like, just on the corner of his mustache.
Just a little bit, yeah. There's a lot of little details like that. I think both Beverly and Troy had little streaks of gray in their hair. They did a very kind of sheer makeup look for them to look older, where they weren't wearing much makeup at all, and what they were was kind of old age effect.
Yeah, it's a little like crow's feet, like not much. Like, I'm glad Picard didn't walk out looking like Dr. Noonien Soong.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they didn't deadly years it. Yeah.
They just gave him a goatee and like put a little more crow's feet on him.
And I thought that the goatee was awesome, and that leads me to, I love how this is the second example I can think of, the first one being yesterday's Enterprise, where the show basically has a reason to do a mirror type thing, except they haven't done the mirror thing. Like, they haven't done a mirror universe yet. But they did yesterday's Enterprise, which was a future where something in the past has changed, and now this one a future where we have a character that was in a coma. But he wasn't in a coma the whole time. That's what tripped me up at first. That's what I thought happened. But no, he was only in a coma for 10 days. He had lived that whole time, been captain for, I believe she said, 9 years.
9 years.
And
because we were laughing, so that means what?
That means it took him 7 more years.
7 more years is number one. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
I mean, they're already busting his balls for standing still, and that was just what, 4 years?
And then he finally did it. Picard became ambassador or admiral, and he waited him out, so his plan worked. I wonder if that'll happen in the actual lore. But
yeah, and you start thinking about it in terms, and it makes sense of why this is just a fantasy that this alien kid made up, because it's everything he ever wanted. You know, he wants to be on the Enterprise with his friends, of course. And you start thinking about it, like, why would everyone still be on this ship? You know what I mean? Because in the motion picture, like, everyone's gone, pretty much, right? Or,
you mean from the Enterprise?
From the Enterprise, yeah.
Yeah, Kirk is obviously still there.
Spock's gone. Bones is like retired.
Yeah, Bones retired. Spock's gone, and
just
Chekhov is it Wrath of Khan that Chekhov's on another ship? Yeah,
yes.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like obviously the lower level people in the show, not in my opinion, but the B team or whatever was still there. But yeah, the big three were all separated. And that's what was one of my confusions too. And it's funny because thinking back, a lot of it is kind of, oh, of course this is the case because we know that it's all an illusion. But watching it through, I'm surprised I wasn't tipped off more because, like, I did say, you know, kind of call things out as they were happening. Like, I'm like, oh, everyone's just still here on the ship except Picard and Troy. Like, Beverly's still here as the Doctor after 16 years, you know. Data, Worf, like, they were all still there. So I had called that out but didn't really think much of it. And then a little bit later on, after Riker meets his son, Jean-Luc, and they say, oh, who's the mother? You know, your wife that passed away, her name was Min. And I was like, oh, Minuet. Like, I immediately called it out, but I didn't think that it was actually Minuet because that doesn't make sense. So I just thought, oh, it's a little Easter egg, you know, or just coincidence. Like, the writers put that in as a little coincidence.
And I got to say, the balls, Les Landau and those two writers, we'll bring their names up later, but it's like the balls to be like, you know what? Some people from season 1 are going to remember this and be like, that's not right. Like, credit. Or even just, you know, show her on screen and not, like, do, like, a cheap flashback like the season 2 finale. And it's like, no, just trust that, you know, Riker knows this person. It's like, the balls. That's great.
Yeah, I mean, season 3 had a few great moments of continuity here and there, but I got to say, one of the biggest shocking things to me about this season is that I didn't expect this level of continuity and so many callbacks directly to season 1, like the stepchild of the series, right? Like, it's not just callbacks from last season. I mean, they did, you know, Worf's discommendation from the Klingons and all those things too. But obviously with lore, that being the big one, but then to even reference the snowflake, you know, from season 1 with Soong, and now here, Minuet, you know, at the time, that was an awesome episode, but it was just like, I don't want to say forgotten about, but it was just kind of like in the bigger scheme of TNG thus far, I would have never expected that to be the one to go back to. And to bring in the same actress just for that one shot.
That one shot. It's like, oh, God, the balls. Like,
I mean, that's like today. That's like TV today, something you expect.
Yeah.
Not 30 years ago. That's crazy.
Or even today, it would be like a CGI, you know,
shot. Oh, yeah.
Or they would just, you know, show the same scene.
Or reused footage.
Like, I'd expect, like, once, like, Riker figured it out, totally expected, just, you know, oh, people don't know, you know, people just, like, pop this on sometimes. I totally expected, well, take a look at this footage, and they just play footage from the episode and compare, like, you know what I mean? And, like, Riker's, like, figuring it out.
Or even a 1990 flashback, and then it, like, flashes that scene, you know?
And it's like, no, you see Riker start to figure it out, and then later, as everything, you know, shut up, Picard! What? You know, I think during that, he kind of just, like, calls everybody out. That was probably the best scene, I think. It's like, when did you get that scar? In combat. When? When was the date? And even goes to Data, the supercomputer. Oh, I thought, what happened to all those, you know, hundreds of calculations per second? And you, Jordan.
Yeah, that was awesome, kind of like revealing the shallowness of this illusion. And one last thing on the Minuet moment, I, again, think it's so ballsy, not only because of going back to season 1, but just the fact that it's episodic and the way TV was back then. you know there's a segment watching that episode when it aired that did not ever see that episode. And it's like, it's such a trigger moment. Like, that's what breaks the glass for Riker, and he puts it together. So, like, imagine not watching that episode, and, like, you have no idea. You don't understand why he figured it out.
And you
know?
couldn't go back and watch it yet, could it?
Maybe there was VHSs or something, but you wouldn't know what episode. I mean, there's no internet to look it up on. I mean, maybe you got to ask your friends.
What, 1990, when did the internet come out?
They can tell us,
Yeah,
but
yeah, they know. We don't.
But I'm guessing you have to just kind of figure out through word of mouth, because like that's why I think it's so ballsy. That alone, just because of how TV worked, as to where now, of course, everything that drops, 71 Easter eggs, missed things, and this, you know what I mean? So it's like that's gone. That's gone forever. But in the 90s, it's a different time. So I really, really respect it for that reason.
Because it didn't like spell it out for you right away. It was just later on he said, Minuet was from a holodeck program. Like he didn't go into extreme detail. It's like a holodeck experience I had. It's like, oh wow, and that's enough to explain to people who maybe haven't seen it. Like,
yeah,
like, oh, that's why he's tripping out. And speaking of other clues, there's one where like, the computer's not fast enough, right? And that's the fascinating thing about this alien character and his sensors or whatever that can craft all this for him. Like the sensors aren't fast enough to create what it wants. Like the computer's not quick enough. Like you pull up a service record, Mrs. William T, and it's like error, and other stuff as well. And then later on, like the kid comes up and like, oh, he asks service record, Mrs. William T, and it pops up in the computer, and he looks at him and goes, "Oh, that's what you wanted, right?" And Riker gives him this look like that, and then Riker's called away. So that's like the first clue. Because I remember even watching the episode, I'm like, why did the kid ask that? This is what you wanted, right? And then after that, I feel like, okay, he's onto it. So, like, on the fly, with his sensors, he creates this whole Romulan subplot where it's actually a Romulan holodeck situation. It's like, oh, thank God, I still got him. And then he still figures it out after that. I think that's the fascinating part. It's like, the story is like being written as it's happening. Because the kid just wants him there, right?
Because he's like he's all alone, so he just wants to keep him there.
Yeah.
I might be mispronouncing it, but Chris Demetrol played the son John Luke, and then also Ethan in the second Romulan world, and then his real name didn't he say like he
Barbados, Barbathon, Barbara?
Yeah, something.
Bill
Barash.
Barash, yes.
As far as kid performances go, he's not a small child. He's like a teen, tween to teen. I thought he did all right for what he had to do.
Yeah, there was no point where I'm like, kid actor, oh my God. Like, he was an actor. He was good. He did the job. And while we're talking about it, my favorite scene, Riker just wakes up from all the shock 16 years later. Oh my God, I'm done with surprises for today. Goes back to his quarters. Hey, Dad. Immediately goes to Troy. Why didn't you tell me? Oh, I thought the shock would, help you. He was great. Any other guest performances? Oh, we got to talk about Tomalak.
Yeah, Tomalak shows up for the first time in person, except it's still not really him. He's still not really in person.
Yeah, it's like, God damn it, we still haven't gotten Tomalak in person. Similar, as if it's like the reason of Tasha Yar being dead. It's like, oh, we brought Tasha back, but she's not really back. Oh, we got Tomalak on the Enterprise, but he's not really on the Enterprise. As if there's some reason why you can't, you can't be there.
Yeah.
But also, I think the problem really starts in this episode. I mean, just to go like linear here, they need to be beamed up, and who can't beam them up? Not Chief.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and Chief's not even in the fantasy too, so he should have known something's wrong. Yeah. Or in his mind, he's probably thinking, "Oh, Chief's probably the captain of another ship. He's probably captain of the Enterprise E or G by now." And, he's got it. Yeah.
Yeah. Someone, a patron, commented a few episodes ago, like, whenever there's a problem, someone with the transporter makes a mistake. It's never the Chief. It's always they got to get someone else.
But whenever they need a clutch life or death situation, who pulls them out?
Yeah.
The Chief.
Yeah, and the whole beginning of it, we get to see Riker's birthday for a quick minute, just a little bit more of like the world building and just again showing how this crew is all connected and all friends. And then there's Picard, who kind of like makes himself disconnected a little bit.
Well, he's like, "Oh, hurry! We don't want to be late for Riker's birthday." It's so weird to hear him say that. And he's talking to Data. We don't want to be late for Riker's birthday party. What do you think about the uniforms in the?
I like them. I like them. Can I just say one thing real quick about it too, with it being an illusion?
Yeah,
My
sure.
worry when we were going through that initial illusion part, I did buy into it being the future and thought he was gonna somehow get sent back or go back.
Yes.
So the whole time I'm thinking, oh, I wonder how much of this continuity is now broken or like they didn't stick to That's why I'm glad it was actually just an illusion, so they could have done whatever they wanted.
So
Very smart.
So they don't have to be held to in the future.
Exactly, yeah, because it wasn't real.
Well, even then, sorry to cut you off, but even then, it's probably going to be like, I don't know if the timeline would be correct, but like Star Trek Picard, like I just know those people weren't paying attention to the.
Oh, they didn't watch this, yeah.
But yeah, instead of like the pins up here, I noticed it's actually represented by like bars behind the emblem, and like the commander, like Data, he had like 3 bars, but and like Beverly had 3 bars, but Riker and the Admiral Picard had 4 bars. I'm like, for this one episode, little details. That's nice, and I hope they come into play later because they obviously had to make new ones. I'm assuming, or just take the pins out and put a new emblem on there, but probably didn't cost them too much.
Yeah, I don't know. That would be cool if that does end up being. But then if that is the case, then it's like, oh, how'd this kid know that? But so they can't follow anything.
Oh, the sensors can tell the future. Oh, they said it can read minds, right? That's how I was able to create everything so elaborately well. Why it's not just a regular holodeck. It's like this active holodeck. Also, it was very so it's on the border of the neutral zone, right? That's the whole thing. That's why the whole like Romulan like thing was introduced. Like, oh, because we're near the neutral zone. But when this Barash is talking later on, he's like, oh, we were like, forget how he words it, but he doesn't say who. He doesn't say Romulans. He doesn't say we were like hiding from our enemies. So in my mind, I'm thinking, who are these enemies? Like my headcanon, thinking that they're going to play the long game on this. Probably not, but it's like, what if like someone from Starfleet took out their fucking planet?
Oh, yeah, because it could be anybody.
Yeah, because it just said enemies. Like he never specifically said, oh, the Romulans, because they're so close to the neutral zone. Oh, the Romulans came in and took us out. So who are these enemies?
That's a good point.
That's my question.
And then it's like if they never follow up on it, it still doesn't break that continuity. You know what I mean? Like it's not like they have to follow up on it for it to make sense. So it's one of those open things. I like that, leaving the door open. And I want to address the ending there, the whole censors thing, and why it wasn't a problem for me. And I think that, you know, Star Trek is not new to, you know, super powerful entities where it's like, that's the answer, is this thing is super powerful and that's it. But what does it come down to? The execution. And I just felt like here, I didn't question it the whole time. It had me on my toes of like, what is happening? Similar to Allegiance from last season, where like at the end of that episode, it was a very simple answer. Like, oh, just these aliens doing a test. I'm fine with that because the episode was interesting. So for this one, it was the same thing. Like, you got me so hooked and interested and tricked and fooled that it's fine that it's kind of an explanation that like, you know, it's kind of like a, what do they call it? Like a deus ex machina or whatever they call it when, you know, something just comes in at the end and it doesn't matter. Because it's like, oh, yeah, okay, well, you don't need to fully explain how any of this works. This random character on this random planet, it gave us a cool episode, so I'm cool with it. I don't, you know, I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth, you know? It's like, I'll take what I can get.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. Because the episode still holds up knowing the twists. You know what I mean? It doesn't just, once you know the twist, you go back and watch, it doesn't all make sense.
Yeah, so I didn't get a chance to rewatch it. You did. We
yeah.
did this discussion a few days later here today. So you think it holds up just as well?
I still think it holds up. That's the fun part. I mean, the sad part is you'll never experience it for the first time again. That's how I feel with like so many movies. You know what I mean? It's like, that's why we started this, so we can record us watching it, so I can go back and rewatch it. That's another thing. Because I remember watching Infinity War, Endgame, Shutter Island, The Shining, whatever, all those movies. I'm like, oh man, wish I could experience watching it. How many times have you heard that? People say that. I wish I could experience it for the first time again. Now you can't. But you can watch yourself react to it for the first time. That's the fun part. But yeah, no, everything still held up. The story was cognitive. You know, the twists, the clues, and all that. It's like, oh, this is good. This is really good.
Yeah, this is one where maybe not necessarily like I thought every single part of it was perfect, or you know, I'm not even gonna say that like it's like, you know, how high I was on Remember Me, the Beverly episode that I said was my favorite. You know, I'm not that high on this one, but the reason I gave it the S was I have no complaints. Like, there's nothing about this episode that I thought wasn't executed very well. Like, they, in my opinion, did everything they wanted to well, and to me, that's what makes a perfect episode. You know, judging it on the episode, what did they want to accomplish? Did they accomplish that? And in my opinion, this one did. I guess if someone just wasn't into this story, but how can you not? Like, it's just such an interesting getting to see a different reality of our characters in, you know, 16 years in the future. You know, I feel like that type of stuff is always interesting to me.
Yeah. And nothing really happened to where like, oh, there's a great character development moment, but never happened. You know what I mean? It was just cool little things to see. Like, oh, Admiral Picard, but there was no, like, great moment. I guess not having Riker name his kid Jean-Luc. Maybe it'll happen.
Maybe he actually will, because obviously he wants to, because it was his mind.
Yeah, it was his mind, yeah.
But will his eventual mother of his child agree to that? I don't know.
Because it won't be Minuet.
Yeah, it's not real, so.
Not real, yeah.
Unless they figure something out.
I like the reveal, or when Riker like double figures it out, because he figures out the first thing, right? Tells Picard to shut up and all that scene. Geordi without contacts again, weird. Figures it out, and then like, oh, the sensors and the kid, you know, pivot. It's like, oh, it's actually a Romulan thing, and like they're doing that whole escape thing, and like watching it, how they like easily escape. I'm like, oh yeah, they do kind of like easily break out of there. Like, oh, there's a convenient vent right here. It's like, oh, we're hiding in the vent. It's like, and like Romulan's right there scanning. It's like you probably should scan, probably pick it up. Oh no, it's the rocks. They can't pick us up because of the rocks. And they're trying to escape, and then the kid slips up. Oh, Ambassador Tomahawk's gonna find us, and Riker's like, Ambassador Tomahawk? I mean, it's like, oh no, they're coming. Oh, I thought they couldn't find us through the rocks. I'm like, oh, it's like, nah, it just does it twice. It's so great. Nope, we're done.
Yeah, absolutely. And I really loved, so I just talked about how like they executed so well. What's something that could have veered it off course if it had just been that one layer? Like if it was just the Romulans did it in their own holodeck, which, not to discount, that was also an awesome reveal, even though it's not real.
Oh, yeah.
Do Romulans actually have their version of a holodeck? I don't know. But, to be in that Romulan version of a holodeck, that was an awesome reveal. But then they, like, immediately give you a hint something's still up when Riker starts questioning Tomalak. And he's, like, asking him these questions that don't add up. And Tomalak, he's like, I know your stuff isn't, this faulty or whatever. And he's like, we're wasting time. It just walks away. And I was like, is this still something? Is there another level? So had it just been that and then a whole half episode of Romulan chasing Riker and Kid, it could have fallen off. It still would have been a good episode, but it might have just like kind of veered, gotten a little bit off.
I'm glad it didn't take too long. It's like a few minutes of like this to let us like start to buy into this, and then like episode's over. You know what I mean? We're out of time. Speaking of like the planet, when they first beamed down there, how great was that shot? And it reminded me of the one from was it Enemy and the Storm with Geordi and the Romulan, and like they beamed down there, and that zoom and that great shot of the planet. I'm like, oh hell yeah, Les Landau, he was directed this, right? Yeah, good old Les. There's another great shot, the reveal of Riker's mustache, where it was gray beard and gray hair, because he's on the sickbay bed, and then it's like kind of from his POV, and Beverly with the new hair walks over. And like, huh? And then he looks to the left, and like the mirror comes down, and like slow zoom on the mirror to show his like gray hair. I'm like, oh, that's good. I like that. Instead of like, I don't know, him getting up and going,
yeah, Tim Allen Santa Claus, yeah,
yeah, just like it's the mirror coming down. That's great. Oh, Picard is saying beyond belief.
Oh yeah.
And this is even before the show existed.
Yeah.
So I wonder if this was the inspiration for Beyond Belief, actor fiction. But yeah, I like how also, like throughout the episode, Riker's complaining about the lag, right? Why is everyone lagging? No one, Data can answer things this fast. Computer's a supercomputer. Why is no one answering me right away? Then it switches to the Romulan thing, and the Tomahawk tries to get some description. Oh, our sensors are meant for Romulan brains. They're not used to like human brains. I'm like, all right, you tried. You tried. Oh, remember when the kid broke his arm? Like, broke his arm playing like I forget the game was called. And I'm like, rewatching the episode, I'm like, all right, why is this here? Now, do you think that the kid invented that whole plot as it was happening because Riker was asking questions about Tomalak wanting to know about Outpost 23? It's like, why would we give away Outpost 23? It makes no sense. So you think that he's starting to figure it out. I better create this. You're like, oh, I broke my arm, Dad.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. Yeah, because obviously on a first watch I hadn't thought about that. And the way that Beverly even says it when she's like, Captain, you better get down here. And then when he gets down there, he's like, oh, he'll be fine. And I'm like, why were you so urgent? But that's definitely why. Because the kid wanted to pull him away from that situation, but didn't want it to be some drastic thing.
Yeah, because I think Tomalak just beamed over. And then, like, Riker's like, oh, Data, show Tomalak the ship. And then he takes, Troy and Picard. Like, hey, why are we going to like Outpost 23 is crucial, and like, oh, your information's outdated. Outpost 23 is no longer blah blah blah. And it's like, come to sickbay.
Yeah. No, absolutely. It's definitely got to be it. That's what I'm gonna assume now.
How about that very odd ADR damn from Riker? Like rewatching it was even more obvious when he's like asking the computer service record. Mrs. William T. Riker can't compute right now. Damn.
Yeah.
Like,
those always make me so interested when it's an obvious ADR that isn't dialogue that they were going to say anyway. Because like sometimes you'll have to ADR what they were saying.
Right, yeah.
But stuff that you can clearly tell they just had some type of note and needed to add it in. Like, did they not think the audience would understand? So like, oh, throw in him going, damn, because then we'll know he's frustrated. And that stuff always makes me curious.
It's like, I wonder if they added that in because like, did a shot go wrong? Did the film go bad where it shows Riker on the other side like this? Or, you know what I mean? It's
yeah.
Like, why isn't this... I mean, who knows?
I honestly, I don't have any rewrites for this episode. I think from a writing perspective, that's one of the biggest strengths. We'll call them out now because we said we would earlier. The writers of the episode are J. Larry Carroll and David Bennett Karen. And I thought they were both excellent. One of the strengths here for me, and I know some people might be a little bit dissatisfied with that kind of fake out ending. We'll see what the patrons say, but for me, I wouldn't write anything about this episode differently. Was there anything for you?
No.
All right, so the patrons gave it a B. It sounded like from those that voted on the poll that mostly they enjoy the episode, they like it, but they were just a little bit tougher on it as far as not reaching their favorites. I even saw some say that it is one of their favorites, but they still gave it a B. I think that the whole fake-out ending bothered a lot of them more than it did us. We're going to talk about fake-out endings in our exclusive segment of the discussion over on Patreon, so you guys can go check that out, especially those of you who voted in the poll, but even if you're watching here on YouTube, you can check that out exclusively on Patreon for this episode.
My personal highlight of the episode is seeing Deanna in a standard uniform.
And I forgot to bring that up. Yes, that was awesome, because she's the only crew member, I believe, that we never see in a uniform. So we finally get to see it, but it's in this fake reality. But it's still pretty cool to see.
In my own headcanon, like, she got her uniform the day before they, that whole incident happened. So this entire time, up until the day before, she just had just a regular get up on.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about being the counselor that means you don't have to wear a Starfleet uniform. It's very interesting to me, but it is what it is, I guess. I love how the Romulan guards in the room look at Riker after they know his greatest love was a hologram. Like they think this guy's sad and kind of gross. I didn't even notice that.
Shit. Yeah, now I want to rewatch it again to have a close look at their faces. Like, oh, your love's a hologram, huh? Weirdo. If only these people knew what's happening in the real world now. An okay episode, but the final act where Riker realizes what's going on is one of the greatest TNG moments ever. Riker telling Picard to shut up as in close her mouth and stop talking is possibly the greatest line delivery in all of Star Trek. Yeah, that was pretty great, but I do think there's one better. Shoot it!
The alien at the end looks like a cheap Halloween costume you'd see at a dollar store. Was money really that tight? In defense, I will never be a hater of a cheap alien costume. Maybe if we get into like the super modern shows and it keeps looking like that, but give me a cheap looking alien suit over bad TV CGI any day.
Yeah, I will agree. Just anything practical, even if it looks like shit, I'm like, nice. Maybe, yeah, it's probably because you guys have to remember, we grew up watching everything in CGI, so like to see anything practical. Maybe looking back, it's like, yeah, looks kind of bad, look a little cheap, but it's not CGI, so it's a win.
Yeah, and now do I want it to be good practical makeup? Oh, yeah, of course. But even the not as good one, like I didn't look at this and go like, oh, take me out of the episode. It's like, I'll take this over, if this same episode had been made in like 10 years and it was like a bad alien CGI, that's what we had to grow up with, like you were saying.
Yeah, I would take that kid rather than the guy from Transfigurations in an all-white, suit.
We had the bad green screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Just give me a bad puppet. I don't care.
Another TNG episode, now in the books. Did TA hate it, or did they get hooked? Will they ever get it? We may never know. TNG Season 4. Let's go! Warp speed! Engage, engage! Warp speed! Engage, engage! Warp speed! Engage, engage! Warp speed! Let's go! Talking over dialogue, laughing at odd times. You may get bothered, but TA feels sublime. They tear into your favorites, they love ones you hate. Yet you can't get enough of the reactions they make. They pause for big moments and make clever jabs. What half of the scene they will always yap. They've been at this for years with many more to come. Join this journey, set your phaser to stun. Warp speed! Engage, engage! Warp speed! Engage, engage! Warp speed! Engage, engage! Warp speed! Let's go! Let's go! Warp speed! Engage, engage! Warp speed! Engage, engage! Warp speed! Engage, engage! Warp speed! Let's go!
Thank you.
Oh, bless you. Sorry.